going on, Pats Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Kansas Pats Talk Patriots podcast. As I told you guys, got a special guest coming on this day. Coming on today. Titan Patriots week. We got the 1-5 Tennessee Titans. Patriots are going there. Patriots are 4-2, trying to get to 5-2, trying to win their fourth straight game. We got Tyler Rowland here from the Locked On Titans podcast. What's going on with you, Tyler?
Hey, how's it going, man? Good season for the Patriots so far. Not so good for the Titans, but hopefully we get a good game on Sunday.
Yes, sir, man. Let's go ahead and hop right onto it, man. Like I said, the Titans are 1-5, coming off a loss to the Raiders, where they haven't really have a lot of good showings this year. Coming off a loss to the Raiders, and the Raiders, they only had one win against us, and then we lost to Pittsburgh, whatnot. But the Patriots been playing some good ball. Titans, they've been playing some good ball. What went wrong for the Titans in this last game? And then right after the game, Brian Callahan, your head coach, got fired.
Yeah, I think the real problem is it's a classic problem for the Titans. The offense just isn't doing anything. Like, they're one of the worst run game teams in the NFL. Cam Ward doesn't have a lot of help out there. And at this point, Cam is starting to drift back in the pocket, be worried about pressure. Couple of plays on tape where he actually could have, kept the ball and found someone down the field, but he's so worried about getting hit that he's just dumping it off to the running backs for short. It's like he needs to get rid of the ball quicker, but now he's not holding the ball enough to take advantage because he's so worried about getting rid of the ball quickly, and it's just problem after problem. The Titans have to leave so many people in to block that they don't have enough people out in routes to be open, and it's just problem after problem after problem that kind of stacks on top of each other. And because the offense is the problem and Brian Callahan was an offensive head coach, that's how you get fired. When your rookie quarterback looks as bad as Cam Ward has looked, when you're supposed to be a quarterback whisperer, offensive guru guy, never a good sign. So things are rough right now, but the Titans are hoping that with the coaching change and maybe making some schematic changes on offense, they're able to get things going. But this is a tough Patriots defense. Yeah. And it'll be a motivated Patriots team with Mike Vrabel looking to get some revenge. So I think this is a tough spot for the Titans to turn things around.
Yeah, we're about to get in Vrabel in shortly. What Brian Callahan did, I watch you on Twitter. I follow you on Facebook. I know you weren't really the biggest Brian Callahan guy. You were very enthused and energetic whenever he got fired. You've been calling it for a while. I think you said it. Right, I watched it last. I think you said it right before the Patriots game when Vrabel, because they can't have Vrabel come in there and Brian Callahan there, the guy that replaced Vrabel. Did you see this coming? Like I said, I know you weren't surprised, but how long has this been coming?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was excited about the hire of Brian Callahan when they hired him. And even at times last year, I looked at the quarterback play that the Titans had with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph, and I'm like, there are some people open. They ran the football better last year. The offensive line is bad. I'm like, hey, maybe Brian Callahan can get this team going in the right direction. There are some signs of life, I guess. But coming into this season, man, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, he's having these problems with managing the game. It's not even offensive stuff. It's, hey, should we be aggressive here before halftime? Should we be conservative? Hey, are we going to run the ball here? It's 4th down. Should we go for it? Managing the time, letting the time run down. The Titans had the ball in week 2, or week 3 with like 3 minutes left on the clock. They run 5 straight runs and run it down to 30 seconds left and try to kick a 60-yard field goal. It's like, what are we doing here? So some people say I'm too negative on the Titans. I think I'm just honest. I give people a chance, and then once I realize, this ain't it. He ain't it. He's not the one. Then I'm going to be honest about that too. And he had way too many issues early in the year, just head coach stuff of managing the game and making decisions. I mean, during the Colts game, man, they had a 4th and 1. They should have went for it to try to go down and score before halftime. They call a timeout because they don't know what to do. The coach admitted we couldn't decide what to do. Then the Colts called a timeout. And then they got to delay a game after 2 timeouts and then kick a 57-yard field goal and miss it. The Colts get the ball, go 10 yards, kick their own field goal. And it's like, what are we doing here, man? So whether it be the leadership stuff and then you add on like the offensive schematic issues that we just talked about at the beginning, you can't be bad at managing the game as a head coach and be an offensive head coach with a terrible offense and survive. So like Cam Ward said, I got to keep it a buck. And, it was time for Brian Callahan to go.
And then his dad, the Callahan, he left the offensive line coach. So you got a new interim offensive line coach as well, correct?
Yeah, that's true. Now, the interim offensive line coach was the assistant offensive line coach so it's not like he's brand new. He just got a little promotion. The guy named Scott Fuchs. Be careful how you say that, but He came from the college ranks this year. Quite frankly, the Titans' offensive line hadn't been getting the job done for 2 seasons. So Bill Callahan is one of the best offensive line coaches ever. You don't take that away from him. Not many people have succeeded in Tennessee despite being good other places. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I can't act like it's some major loss for the Titans when the O-line wasn't playing that good anyway.
Let's move to Mike McCoy. He's going to be your interim coach. He was with the Chargers. I think his last time he was the actual head coach. Are you expecting this head coach bump that most teams get or whatnot, or do you think that's a little bit played out? Because the Titans have been bad this year, but I went back. I don't know the exact number. Normally, when a head coach is fired, the interim coach comes in. Not to say they win all the time, but the team plays with a different level of spark and energy. Are you expecting that? And what have you been hearing this week since you covered the Titans? What have you been hearing this week from the Titans side of it?
Well, we're hearing good things from the coach. He made changes to how they practice. And Jeffrey Simmons said last week after the game when they lost to the Raiders, he literally said, we just had our worst week of practice. So how do you come off a miraculous momentum-building win over the Arizona Cardinals and that lead into your worst week of practice? And Jeffrey Simmons has happened to tell one of the Titans' offensive linemen, nah, stop practice. You're not playing good enough. You know, that shouldn't be needed from a defensive player. Like, I appreciate the leadership and the captaincy of Jeffrey Simmons, but, like, that shouldn't happen. Now, I don't think that Mike McCoy is a good head coach. I don't think that he's, like, the long-term answer for the Titans at head coach, but he can't be as bad as Brian Callahan. He has to have more experience and hold guys accountable. So they're talking about, you know, doing practice different, spending more time in individual before they do certain things and playing with more tempo in practice, because how you practice is how you play. And Jeffrey Simmons knows that, because he had a good coach in Mike Vrabel who taught him that, you know, when he was younger. So, like, I think that Mike McCoy will give him a little bit of that fired head coach bump, which, as you said, statistically, it is real. That does exist. But the problem is, I think that's going to be canceled out by the Patriots players wanting to play for Mike Vrabel. So it's like you get an emotional bump from firing your head coach and the players just want to play better. But the Patriots are going to have an unnatural motivation this week when they're playing for Mike Vrabel and his revenge game. So I think those things cancel out, and it doesn't help the Titans as much as it normally would.
Great way to segue. I was just about getting Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel returns. Were you a big fan of Vrabel when he was there? And then two, what type of ovation? I know they're not doing like a tribute. You don't ever really hear that by the head coach getting a tribute. But what kind of ovation you think? I mean, what kind of ovation do you think the crowd's going to give them? The team. I know a lot of players are still there that Vrabel drafted and signed. We basically got Titans up north. Titans north from the Patriots. You got Harold Landry, Gibbons. I forgot Spillane was there. We just signed the guy to the practice squad yesterday. He was formed with the Titan. I can't think of his
Thomas
name.
Odukoye. He's from the Netherlands. He's an international player who's kind of hung around for a
bunch of coaches are coming back. Todd Down. I love Todd Down. He's been real good with us. Harold Landry, he's on the injury report, so he hasn't practiced the last couple of days. So I think I can't see him missing this game. To Harold Landry, I love Harold Landry. I can't see him missing this game. What type of ovation you think Vrabel's going to get, and what have you been hearing this week?
I think Vrabel's going to be cheered in the stadium for two different reasons. Number one, the team is terrible right now, and a lot of Titans fans just reminisce over good times. You know what I mean? When they reminisce over you, like it's going to be Mike Vrabel's time. They're going to clap for him, Titans fans. But I also think this may not be something that Patriots fans know, but the Titans stadium is usually more opposing fans than Titans fans.
I've been hearing that.
Yeah, because people want to come to Nashville and party. You know what I mean? So it's a destination city. People want to Nashville is the Las Vegas of the on the east side of the Mississippi. You know what I mean? Like, people just go there to party and have fun and stuff. So I think it'll be an ovation for Mike Vrabel, not just because Titans fans miss him, but also because there will be a lot of Patriots fans there clapping. So I think when you hear it on TV, it'll be an ovation. But for me personally, like I said with Brian Callahan, I defended Mike Vrabel all the time. I loved Mike Vrabel, but at the end of the day, I thought it was time for the Titans to part ways with Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel is suited better. Mike Vrabel's a good coach. I didn't think he was a bad coach, but sometimes it's just time for a change.
It's just time
for a different voice. And it didn't work out with Brian Callahan, so you could say I have egg on my face for that. You wanted Mike Vrabel gone, and they got somebody worse. Oh, I think that they should have just hired somebody better. You know what I mean? Not that Mike Vrabel, it wasn't time to go. I think he's in a better spot. I think the Titans needed to go because 3 out of 6 years he was the head coach, they ranked 27th or lower in scoring. He was 6-18 in his last 24 games. They had a massive collapse in 2022 to lose the division when they were up big by 3 games. Like, you know, people romanticize Mike Vrabel's tenure, but the reality is things weren't very good at the end. So I think he did deserve to be let go from the Titans, but they certainly messed up with Brian Callahan after, and
Yeah.
that makes it look a lot worse.
Sticking on the coaching side, who would you like to see to be next coach of the Titans going forward for the 2026 season?
Well, I think right now they need somebody with experience. Like the Titans
I like
don't have
Mike McCarthy.
Dude, that's my number one option right now because
Yep.
he has experience. He has a Super Bowl championship. He can lead a professional program. Like right now, the Titans aren't a professional football team.
Right.
Like they don't have any culture. They don't have any leadership. They don't have any semblance of a professional offense. And Mike McCarthy is an offensive guy, which is something I still want. He has a ton of leadership ability, leading multiple programs. People act like he sucked in Dallas, and it's like he had 3 straight 12-win seasons. He's led multiple top 5 offenses in his career. They had a playoff win, and Titans fans are acting like they're too good for that. I'm like, man, if we had multiple 12-win seasons and a playoff win, like that would be a huge step forward for this team. So I can't look down my nose at that. I think Cliff Kingsbury from the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, offensive coordinator, couldn't that help Cam Ward? Look what he did with Jaden Daniels last year. Couldn't he come in and add some college concepts and help Cam Ward? Is he a leader, though? That was the question in Arizona. I think a guy like Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator from the Minnesota Vikings, the guy who deserves another opportunity. The Titans have talent on defense. He could maximize that. The problem with the defensive head coach is you got to pair him with a good offensive coordinator. Can he get that right? What if the Miami Dolphins fire Mike McDaniel?
I like McDaniel. I like him as an OC, though. I like him as offensive coordinator.
If he's the offensive coordinator for the Titans and Brian Flores or Vance Joseph from Denver, they're the head coach, that could be a working pairing. So I think there are a lot of options for the Titans, but Mike McCarthy kind of checks all the boxes for me right now, even if he's not the most exciting name.
I was just thinking about, because I'm in division with Dog. I can see them getting rid of Mike McDaniel any day now. Absolutely. I think they lose to who the Dog? They got the Browns this week. They lose a couple more again. They're probably not going to wait till the end of the year. They're going to go ahead and get rid of him. I like him with Cam Ward. I like him with Cam Ward. What about Arthur Smith from the Steelers?
Well, that is a discussion.
He's from Tennessee too.
He was the offensive coordinator when the Titans had their most success in the last, 15 years. So I understand that, but I just worry about the creativity on offense. Like last night, the Steelers made plays, but a lot of that was Aaron Rodgers running around and finding guys downfield. I think there's a little bit of a lack of creativity with Arthur Smith. He just loves 2-3 tight ends on the field all the time. And I don't think that fits with what the Titans are trying to do right now, and I don't think that fits their roster. So maybe Arthur Smith would do a better job in his second time as a head coach after failing with Atlanta. I'm not using failure to say people can never succeed. That's not how life works. Sometimes you got to fail to succeed. That's oftentimes how it works, but I'm not as excited about Arthur Smith as I am some of the other possibilities.
Moving on to the game. Injury update. I just tell you, Harold Landry, I think he's going to make the trip out. I doubt he missed his game. Barmore was back to practice. Diggs did with a chest issue. He's going to play. Other than that, I think Jalen Hawkins, our starting safety, he returned on a limited basis. Gonzo has 4 participants. So I think we're pretty healthy for the most part. Mike got a couple guys that's probably not going to be active. What's going on with your injury report right now? And Calvin Ridley, I know he got a hamstring issue. Is he on his way out of Tennessee? Because I watched another podcast this week, say he hasn't been motivated this year. I looked at the stats, and it seemed like, him and you got Van Jefferson, Tyler Lockett, who's about 40 years old, but he's still a good player though. But Calvin Ridley, is he motivated to still be in Tennessee?
I think it's easy to say that there's motivation issues, but I don't think that's the case. I just think that he's gotten a step slower this year, and when he's never been an overly physical player that can beat press coverage with his hands. And
remember, we was in a running for that contract a couple years ago. It was the Patriots and the Titans. He chose to go to Tennessee.
Yes, absolutely. And listen, maybe the Patriots want to trade for Calvin Ridley after this game. I think that would make a ton of sense. The Patriots could use one more wide receiver, and it sounds like they're interested in getting a Jacoby Myers or maybe
Chris Olave.
Olave as well. Yeah, so I think that would make sense. But I'm not here to say that Calvin Ridley isn't motivated. I just think the offense is bad, and he may be a step slower now that he's 30 than he was during his prime. And that the speed is what his game is all based on. And so if he's a step slower, it really takes him down. But once he gets traded, if he gets traded, we know he's going to go and ball out somewhere else, as always happens when people leave Tennessee. That's just kind of the way that it goes. But I wouldn't question his motivation. Now, I do think him being a do not practice the first 2 days of practice, I don't think
probably not going to play. Yeah.
Draymond Jones and Arden Key, the Titans' 2 top edge rushers, also looking like they're probably not going to play in this game. And you wonder, is it because they're too hurt to play, or is it because they don't want them to get hurt anymore so that they can trade them? So it's kind
I
of hard to
heard
know
we
right now.
interested in Arden Key. I heard we might try. Vrabel brought Arden Key to Tennessee, so I wouldn't
Yes.
mind us get Arden Key.
Yeah, 100%. I think Arden Key in a better role than he's in right now, with more help around him than he has in Tennessee outside of Jeffrey Simmons, could be a valuable player. So I think the Titans might be on the precipice of a fire sale for the roster. So it's kind of hard to know who's actually hurt and who's, hey, let's just hold you off this week just in case.
Moving on to the Patriots side of things, what has really impressed you? I know you saw Drake May last year, and we went down. It was a crazy game. We should have won that game. Lost it back on Mason Rudolph, but that was a good game, good finish though. What has impressed you about the Patriots this year, Josh McDaniels and Drake May?
Well, I think the deep passing, like Drake May's accuracy going deep down the field, has been so impressive. And I mean, the NFL is all about explosive plays right now. You get the most explosive plays in a game, you're probably going to win that game. And Drake May's ability not only to throw deep with accuracy and take advantage of opportunities and create explosive plays, but his movement in the pocket. I go back to last year. Before the Titans played the Patriots last year, Arden Key said in the locker room, it's not really a week where we got to worry about the mobility of the quarterback. And at the time I was like, who's coaching him up on that? Who said that? Like Drake May
ran all over.
Yeah, and then Drake May runs around for 8 seconds to get that last score at the end of the game. And it's like, yeah, you idiots. Drake May is mobile. What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think the mobility of Drake May to play make, combined with his arm strength and ability to throw downfield, it's just a deadly combination. And, if the Patriots move to 5-2 and Drake May continues to play well, he might work himself into the MVP conversation. Like he's playing.
I think he's in it with what he's working with on offense. Stephon Diggs coming off a torn ACL, about to be 32. Who is Pop Douglas? Kayshawn Booty. Hunter Henry, who you know what I mean? Like
the run game isn't good either. The run game is
and you got two rookies on the left side of your offensive line, Will Campbell and Jarrett Wilson. So I mean, who knows, man? Hopefully we can get Kyle Williams going at wide receiver here shortly. I got a feeling he's due for a breakout here soon.
I like Kyle Williams. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. Okay, Patriots matchups. What matchup are you interested in watching this game?
Well, you just mentioned it. The left side of the offensive line, Jared Wilson and Will Campbell are tied right now for the most pressures allowed on that offensive line with 13, according to Pro Football Focus. The problem is the Titans don't have a lot of edge rushers. Like I said, Arden Key, Draymond Jones banged up and may not play. Femi Oladipo, their second-round rookie, just
he's on IR
with a calf injury. So the Titans are really banged up, and that might allow the Patriots to focus more on the interior, where you have Jeffrey Simmons, who might be the best defensive player in the NFL so far this year. He is going to a different level this season, and if he gets one-on-one opportunities, and Garrett Bradbury has been incredible this year at center,
surprisingly.
He's not a super big physical player. He's more of a finesse type offensive lineman. And I think if Jeffrey Simmons is able to get one-on-one matchups with either of those guys, he's going to be able to eat them alive. And interior pressure, going back to the Tom Brady days, if you rush your edge rushers past, Tom Brady's like, fine, go back there. I'll just step up in the pocket. But if you rush from the interior and you collapse the pocket from the inside, there's nowhere to go for the quarterback. So the one thing that could tilt this to the Tennessee Titans and give them a chance in this game is Jeffrey Simmons taking advantage of the rookies on the interior.
And I'm going to go reverse. You went with the Titans D-line against our offensive line with the left side. I'm going to go with the Patriots defense line against Titans offensive line. Y'all had some struggles there with J.C. Latham and Dan Moore, who hasn't really lived up to the contract. Cam Ward loves to play a lot of hero ball. I know, I'm sure he throws the ball kind of sideways a lot, but he got a cannon. The ball comes off his hand. I'm telling you, it does. But his mechanics are not the best. And believe me, I know about it because we watched Drake May a lot last year, and Drake May struggled a lot last year. Had a lot of his mechanics was all messed up. Did we lose you?
No, I'm here with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I think it went blank. But yeah, Drake May's mechanics were off last year, and a lot was going on with Drake May last year. So I kind of know what Cam was dealing with. I think we can keep Cam Ward in the pocket and make him play for the pocket. I think we got a good chance, and I think he can move out the pocket. But I think he like to play a lot of backyard football. I think it was against I forgot who it was with. I think it was against the Texans earlier this year, probably the Rams. He rolled all the way out. Yeah, rolled out to the right. Ending the touchdown. We got to keep Chase on Harold Landry if he plays. We got to keep him in the pocket and make Cam Ward go 10, 12, 15 plays. And like I said, you only averaging with about 13 points a game, I think I seen on
Yeah.
yeah, so I didn't know the offense was that bad. I honestly I didn't know. I didn't get into the Titans till Wednesday. I started looking at the all 22 and things like that. But I didn't know it was that. But I thought you actually been competitive. Cause I know a couple games y'all were kind of. I know that Cardinals game was weird. I know
Right.
your defense got some players, but your defense isn't that good at all either. I know you got Snead in the secondary, and you got I like the other corner, McCurry. I actually like that. I like
Yeah,
McCurry.
Roger McCreary.
And
Yeah.
you got Jones, you got Monty Hooker back there. So you got some
Yes.
guys in the secondary, but I didn't know the Titans offense was that bad or whatnot. But I think my matchup is Patriots, Chason and Landry, Barmer, Bill Williams. Get out. I'm not blitzing Cam Ward, make him stay in the pocket and see if you can go 10, 12 plays to score on you.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. I mean, the Titans' offensive line has been up and down. They've had some good weeks. They've had some bad weeks as well. But J.C. Latham came back from injured reserve last week, and in his first game back, he got destroyed by Max Crosby. Now, that's Max Crosby. You know what I mean? So, a lot of offensive tackles would have struggles. But when you take a guy in the top 10 of the NFL draft, you expect him to hold up a little bit better. And after that Thursday night game we just saw where Armarius Mims, who got taken – 10, 11 picks after J.C. Latham shuts down T.J. Watt, it's like, oh boy, that's not good. You know what I mean? So I think it's fair to look at the Titans' offensive line because Cam Ward under pressure this year has been awful. Now, part of that problem is, and it all goes together, football's the ultimate team game. The Titans don't have a great wide receiver group. And if Calvin Ridley is out, it's probably the worst wide receiver group in the NFL. And the offense is making the defense look worse because what happens is the offense can't get anything going and they're 3 and out off the field. And by the middle of the third quarter, the fourth quarter, the defense is exhausted. So even though they're good and they have some good players, they wear down and teams start breaking off runs and it's easier to get openings in the secondary. So kind of everything comes together and starts crashing down on the Titans at the end of the game. But it all starts with the offense not being good enough. And unfortunately, I don't think things are going to go much different in this game.
How you feel about your run game against that Patriots defense? We were the top rushing defense in the league. We haven't given up a 50-yard or rushing play yet. How you feel about your run game?
I do not feel good about it. The Titans are one of the bottom 5 run games in the NFL right now, averaging about 83 yards per game. The Patriots only give up about 81 yards per game on the ground. That is not a good matchup. And if the Titans can't run the ball, they can't control the clock. And if they don't control the clock, they're going to give the ball back to a more talented offense that's going to be able to score more points. So that is a very worrisome part of this matchup for me is the run game against the run defense.
All right, prediction time, man. I'll let you go first.
Fair enough. I went 31-10. I just don't think that the Titans have a real shot to move the ball against the Patriots defense. Yeah. And I think the Patriots offense is good enough where they're going to score. Maybe it's 24-10 and I'm being a little over the top with it. But I do think that this is a game where the Patriots are in control 24-3, 24-6, something like that. And the Titans get a garbage time touchdown to make it look closer than it is. But no way that Mike Vrabel is going into Tennessee and letting his team lose this game. There's just no way.
On my 2 shows this week, on Wednesday, I picked the score. Last night, I picked the show, my boy. I'm going to go 27-16. Patriots will win. I think 3 straight road. This is our third. We went to Buffalo, went to New Orleans. I mean, the Patriots have never won 3 straight road games consecutive.
Ooh.
Like, I'm talking about this back-to-back, not throughout the season. So, I think it's going to be tough. Nashville, it's a lot to do in Nashville, Tennessee. There's a lot to do in New Orleans last week. It's not that much do in Buffalo, but it's a lot to do in Tennessee. I think the guys are going down tomorrow. Vrabel's going to come in there. He's going to have them fired up. I don't expect to see no letdown, but I think it could be a little sluggish to start off like they were like last week, coming from the second half. I'm going to go 27-16 Patriots. I think Drake May continues the MVP campaign. One thing before I let you go, could you see, and you said it's interesting because you said 34-10, could you see Mike Vrabel running up the scoreboard?
I think we could see him do something at the end, like a little
he
fake
seems like that type of person. He seems like that.
Yeah, he could play all coy in the media and be like, oh, it's time to move on. It's not that interesting or important, blah, blah. But we've heard Vrabel's real personality in podcasts and different things like that. We know that he's a bit of an a-hole, and that's why I like it. I am too, man. Like, I am too, whatever. You know what I mean? But I think that we could see him do a little something at the end just to let the people of Tennessee know you made a mistake.
Tyler, appreciate you coming on, man. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yeah, so Locked On Titans, Monday through Friday, all year round. That's, my baby right there. That's the moneymaker. I also do host Locked On NFL,
Okay.
the national show for the Locked On Podcast Network. That's Monday through Friday as well. And if you're interested in film and the All 22 and stuff like that, I do film breakdowns on YouTube over at Tic Tac Titans because I focus on the X's and O's. It's corny, but I love it.
Guys, be sure to please go follow him on Twitter, Tic Tac Titans, and he just gave you all his other socials and the podcast that you can find him on. Appreciate you coming on, Tyler. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit the share button, make sure you are subscribed to the Ken's Pat Talk Patriots podcast. Also, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, got the watch party. Make sure you can check your boy out. Pat's Titans. Gonna be some Titans fans in there talking crazy. Last week I had some crazy Saints fans. I had Bills fans up in there. So we are doing a watch party live, 1 p.m. Eastern, Patriots versus Titans. Tyler, man, appreciate it. I hope we can talk again soon, man.
Absolutely, man. Take care.
Yes, sir.